So regarding the withdrawals, we talked about this last week, I think, probably in the chat, or I don't remember it if we talked about it during the Codevs call as well. But basically, there was an idea to update the withdrawal contracts, and more specifically, the system execute function to add the withdrawal index to the call, so that it would be possible to track which withdrawal is connected to which failed withdrawal. But in the end, we came up with another solution. The pull request is here. I can post it in the chat if anyone is interested. So we don't have to do this anymore, which means also that we don't have to spin up a new DevNet or test this externally as well. So this should be good enough for now. So we can track everything like we wanted to from the beginning. So that's great. Yeah, I don't know, Ryan, if there's more to say about this.
All good. Yeah. No changes needed from you guys.
Did you update the contract on existing DevNet, or how do you test it?
We did not upgrade the contract on DevNet as far as I know. So yes,
yeah, but
this
we
is
have
something
so
we should definitely.
to test it. Yeah, so if we update on a network that have already gone through Capella, the index will be off, so the test will not be good. For either for Chiado or for another DevNet, we have to do it before the Capella fork. But because it's a purely informative feature for block explorers and no one else, it's not critical for consensus or normal functionality.
Okay, got it.
Yes, and it's also, of course, tested in the contracts. So, yeah, presumably that should be good enough. Yeah, so regarding the DevNet, I guess there's not much at this point. Or, I mean, maybe someone has any comments on that, but it should be business as usual, right?
No updates on our end.
All right. Then let's talk testnet. So I have a question first. So who's running all the nodes? Apparently, I mean, I asked Giacomo. Apparently, Gateway is running the 6,000 Genesis validators.
I think we should run a third of them, a third of all validators, and then I think it was split like a third Nethermind, a third Gnosis, and the third us. So it's
Okay,
not all us.
Nethermind, can you confirm?
Don't we have Carlos here? Nope. Oh yeah, I will confirm with him later then.
Yeah, it's been a while ago, but yeah, the three entities run. Who's supposed to run those validators? I think 2,000 each, if they're 6,000 total.
Yeah, okay. Then I confirm with you in the Codev chat later, because I need to know which clients you're running and which configs, and how basically to just have a general idea on how the Chiado network is running right now. Because of course we're kind of short on time, and updating all the clients might not be very realistic. So Lion created a pull request for Lighthouse. I opened one for Teku. That should be ready for today. If there's any other clients we're running,
I can tell you already, we basically run, for Chiado specifically, for validators, we basically run Netherminds plus Lighthouse.
got it.
From our side, it should be straightforward.
Okay, so for Lighthouse, the presets has been, well, there's a pull request for the presets, but not the actual like config file. So you might have to add a flag with the new configs to be able to run it, but at least it should work. And for Teku, end of today, theoretically, it should be merged with the full Chiado config. So just using the network Chiado flag should work for the new, for Chapella, sorry. Okay, then I'll still confer with Gnosis and I guess Nethermind. But yeah, so we'll have to make sure that this is, of course, all updated for, let's say, Tuesday at the very, very latest. Except for that, I guess there's not much else. We still have to upgrade the contracts, which will be done fairly soon. I'm talking with Giacomo about this. Basically, I wanted to be as close as mainnet as possible, meaning we would transfer the ownership of the deposit contracts and the proxy, more specifically, to Gnosis Safe. But it turns out there's no Gnosis Safe UI on Kiados, or it might be a bit more complicated than anticipated, but we'll make it work. Yeah, and then for the upgrade, we have to, well, upgrade the proxy, but also then swap the token. Meaning, yeah, unwrapping the MGNO back to GNO so that everything works exactly like for mainnet. Although I don't even, well, yeah, no, that should work like that. Yeah, right. So yeah, let's move on to Hive tests. Marcos?
Yeah, hello guys. Well, we have implemented tests for pre-Shanghai and post-Shanghai scenarios. On the pre-Shanghai, we are checking the sync status, producing block and sending payloads to the node, and playing around with withdrawals previously Shanghai to check that they are returning what is expected. That is nothing happened on the chain. So on the post-Shanghai scenario, we are producing blocks, sending withdrawals and transaction, and verifying what withdrawals are on payloads and in the proper way, and also checking the withdrawal balance. However, while checking the withdrawal balance, we are not getting the expected results. But once we fix it, we can check balance history and past block routes. On that side, the withdrawals route on the block is calculated correctly, so we can say that the withdrawal has been applied. So it's just some small check on the withdrawal balance. So what we are going to do after that is conduct a broad range of basic test, barring TTD, the gas settings, timeouts, reorganizations, and syncing. Also, we are going to address more the other edge cases that raised on our first call about the Hive. We are going to integrate Erigon and test compatibility to check. I mean, everything is working. That we have everything that we have done with Nethermind is compatible with Erigon too. And we will try to merge the results, the nodes in the test to make it work together and see that everything is working okay. Yeah, and that will be the then step. After that, we can incorporate those tests into the client pipelines and check that every time we run the test, we have Hive tests for Erigon and Nethermind at least. About the timelines for that, roughly between 15 to 21 days for the basic testing. I mean, the broad range of tests that I told earlier. And for the Erigon integration, I will expect to I will wait to that moment to say how it goes, because it can be as smoothly as just add it to the interfaces, but maybe I can face some issues. I mean, it can be from few hours to a couple of days, so I will wait to that moment. Well, in summary, we have made a good progress on testing pre-Shanghai and post-Shanghai functionality. Even if there are some issues with withdrawal balance dates, we are not fully covering withdrawals as of now. So the next step are conduct more in-depth testing to address this case, incorporate Erigon, and make code improvements and so on. So after resolving the current issues with balances, we will have totally test the withdrawal functionality. That's the day for today, guys. Any
awesome.
question?
Thank you. That was a lot. I'm not sure I got everything. Could you maybe summarize this and send it on the Codev Call chat, Telegram, so I can make sure that this gets reflected correctly in the notes later? Because, yeah, I mean, it was way too fast. I didn't get everything.
Sorry for that. Sure. I will post the notes of where I said in a few minutes. Sure.
Yeah, no, take your time. But yeah, that was great. I mean, there seems to be a lot of progress, and I'm very, very happy with that. One question though.
Thank
So
you.
you said there was an issue with withdrawals. So you see that the withdrawals are going through, but the result is not correct. Do you know if it's because there's an issue with your tests, or because there is an issue with actual like code or contracts or clients, or
No. It's an issue. It's an issue with my test because the withdrawal route is we are getting the withdrawal route correctly, so the withdrawal has been applied. So for some reason I am not getting the right values from when I ask for the balance of the address that I have been withdrawing. So yeah, it should be something small, but I didn't get the detail, the place exactly where to fix it yet.
all right, just making sure, because if there's an issue with clients, we have to avoid the entire shadow hard fork. So yeah, that would be bad. But if that's not it, then that's great. All right, well, let's move on to client updates. Nethermind, do you have anything other than like testnets? Well, I guess you have the configs ready. No, that was Erigon.
Yes, we do have. We do have.
Okay, so configs for Kiado Chapela are ready.
Sure.
Are they in a specific branch, or are they already in stable?
Oh, they are on in our main branch, and also we released the release candidate, which includes this. But this is the latest release that includes this in a previous stage now. But we plan to release it before Shadow hard fork if testing goes well.
Awesome. From Erigon, I guess there's no one then. I guess I have configs ready on the Devil branch, and that's the Docker, like the Devil container. So that should be, I mean, we can test this already. From Geth, Guillaume couldn't attend, I think, today, and is in a retreat with the Geth team, so there's no progress for this week. So yeah, let's move on to Gateway in the chain info.
Yeah, so basically we've been working on provisioning the L2 for Gnosis Chain. That's the main thing, apart from typical maintenance. So yeah, just started provisioning cluster, and there were some permission issues, I remember, with the Gnosis AWS account. But I think we are working with Ricardo and Giacomo to sort it out. It's all like part of the thing. And yeah, we also looked at the new configs for Bedrock, and I think I reviewed them a little bit, and Ricardo as well, because it has more parameters right now for the L2. It's still related to Gnosis Chain. So yeah, we've been discussing the fraud-proof window parameter mostly, and the implication on security of the rollup. So that's about it.
Can you repeat what the issue was with what the permission issue was? I didn't get that.
No, just like I think our account didn't have access to some of the AWS services that we should have had. So it's
okay. And that's figured out now, or?
I've seen Ricardo started working on this, and I haven't seen the results just yet. But it's going to be probably fixed today. Like if it's not fixed already, it's something super minor.
Perfect. Thank you for your update. And then that's a last topic, I guess, regarding the mempool. So we've talked about this already a few months ago, I guess. If I remember correctly, Nethermind was accepting clients, maybe Erigon as well, I don't remember, where the gas fee was way too expensive, and this could have been an attack vector to fill the mempool, which turned out actually not to be an issue, because those transactions would get evicted if new legitimate ones came in. So that was not an issue, but now there's maybe another issue, which is that some of our users have been creating transactions with but I mean, I guess this is also an issue on Ethereum mainnet. I'm not actually sure. But basically, some of our users have created transactions that are way too expensive. So with the gas price that is in, I saw one transaction that would have cost 1.7 million DAI or something, XDAI, I mean. And of course, then that locks the wallet because they can't create a replacement transaction, right? Because they can't make a more expensive one, or at least they can't pay for it. So that's kind of an issue. And the question is, should we actually accept those transactions, or should we just reject them and not even add them to the mempool, because then that effectively locks wallets. And well, of course, they will get evicted in a few days' time. But if an attacker, for example, rebroadcasted those transactions constantly, then if you create such a bad transaction, then you could effectively be locked out of your wallets indefinitely. So yeah, that might be an issue. And then another one is this transaction here that was created with a gas price of 0, if I remember correctly. Well, I actually opened it here already. So yeah, the gas price is of 0 Gwei, meaning that this transaction actually will never get executed because there's a minimum of, I don't remember how much, but more than 0 for sure. Yeah, so should this transaction be in the mempool, and yeah, should we not just get rid of it and not accept it? So those are the two opposite sides of the same coin, let's say.
Yeah, but I mean, for the second thing, like, it's trivial to replace it if you want to. If you put 0, you can put any non-zero gas fee and then just replace the transaction. If you
Yeah,
really
for sure.
need to
So
split up.
for the second example, there's no issue with that. You can you can create a replacement transaction. That's no problem. But could this not? I mean, and I don't know. I haven't looked at the code, but could this not be an attack vector in the same case, in the same sense as the last time by filling the mempool? I don't know. That's basically the question.
So answering the second one, no, this is not a big deal, but it's a little oversight from our side, in a way that this goes to a local transaction pool, and it only was allowed because it's a local transaction on the local transaction rules, which are a bit more permissive. But it's like a separate thing, and it won't really, it shouldn't break anything, and it shouldn't be able to like flood the transaction pool. So it's not a big deal. It's just a problem that it went there, and we will fix this in some. But it's not a big deal. It's like more, let's say, UX for the Explorer thing that doesn't look great, but it's not a problem really. And it will get evicted if anything more useful comes in very easily. But yeah, we will apply a bit more stricter rules on this, because we are actually in discussion about that. And the first one, the costly transaction, do you have like a write-up about it that we can take a look, or anything? What's transactions that are way too expensive to execute it and can't be replaced. Okay, they cannot be executed. Okay, that might be an issue, a bug, because we shouldn't really accept, unless they are also went to the local transaction pool and they are not really in the main one. So
how do you get into that local transaction pool?
the same way. It's just that only the node that actually got the transaction accepts it, and if it doesn't, it tries to rebroadcast it from time to time. But if it cannot be executed, it shouldn't go to the main transaction pool. So other nodes shouldn't allow it for the time being. Okay, this needs a little bit more investigation to confirm if this is the same case or if this is some kind of issue. So
yeah, because those transactions were in the two explorers, so Gnosis Chain and Block Scout, which probably don't use the same nodes, right? So that means it should have been done in the main pool, right?
Maybe. Like I said, I would like to explore this a bit more to like have any conclusions.
Okay, and well, I had 3 transactions, but they all expired since then, so sadly there's nothing I can show, but maybe I can just recreate one. I should test this But yeah,
So what do you mean expired? Because
well, I mean, I don't know exactly, but they are not in Gnosis Chain anymore, so they got removed from the pool, I guess.
Okay.
After a few days.
So that's not. So they might have been a local transaction on some node, and okay, but if you can like share details, I will share with our developers that are focusing on the transaction pool to take a look on this scenario.
Awesome. All right, I'll try to write something up and then I share it with on the Telegram.
But if they went away, they probably went to the local pool, because otherwise they would be probably very lucrative transactions and they would be in the main pool and they would stay in the main pool. But if they cannot be executed, it probably isn't a big deal.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So it was a wallet that had a few DAI on it, a few extra, of course, and that would have cost 1.7 million DAI to execute. So this would never have happened, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
can you test the scenario to like put this transaction right in, and then put a real transaction, right, the one that would go in, and check if it goes in?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Perfect.
Because if that's happening, it's not really it's a potentially UX problem.
Well, I mean, so the report we got from the user was exactly that was possible. So they accidentally created this transaction with a way too high gas price. They realized, shit, we created a transaction with a way too high gas price, and they wanted to create another transaction with a reasonable gas price. And again, what the user reported was that the RPC endpoint would not accept this replacement transaction because it would essentially say, well, there is already a transaction with a higher gas and therefore it cannot be replaced.
Okay, we will take a look.
Perfect. Well, in this case, I guess that's for today, except if there's any comments or questions. Lion, you don't have anything to say?
All good from my side.
Perfect. Well, in this case, let's make sure that we have everything ready for the testnets. If there's any concerns or something, please raise them. And I guess see you next week for the hot fork, right? Because it's going to happen 12 minutes into the call, so that's going to be interesting.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right. See you.
Thank you, Philip.
Hi, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.